it's so important that we all learn to love ourselves more completely and understand what it means to truly love yourself. And there is no true, real love that exists without taking care of your temple. For me, the gift that I was given and the message that I was given about what love means to support, sustain, nourish, evolve, grow life, or love no longer exists. In order for love to exist, life must first be sustained. And all children, all babies, mothers usually they understand this, because what happens is that when a baby comes out the womb, is that the baby is looking for one thing: love in the form of nourishment. If you love me, then give me something that's going to help me grow my temple, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. Give me the nourishment I need to help me activate my genes, to activate my mind, to activate my consciousness, to grow my bones, to grow my nerves, so that I can express and God can express through me in this reality. You see? So if you cannot love on the body that was given to you, the only gift that was given to you, if you cannot love on the body which is complete with your mind, your heart, your soul, all of your expressions and everything that you are, then you will automatically be in a state to where you're going to destroy yourself consciously or unconsciously.
It's very true. I think I want to clarify right now self-care versus self-love, and how when we love ourselves, we want to care for ourselves. And caring for ourselves isn't just brushing your teeth, taking, moisturizing. It's also boundaries. It's also giving yourself space to meditate. It's also letting yourself sit in isolation and solitude and not feel like you have to do things to cope with your emotions or block yourself from feeling energies of emotion by addictions or watching TV. It's like letting yourself actually feel your emotions, actually sit with them in yourself at times. So I think when we love ourselves, it comes with the deepening of self-care. We have to care for ourselves, which our care for ourselves is revealing the self-love, because self-love manifested is self-care. In order to care for ourselves, that is when we say we love ourselves, but we have nothing to show for it. You have nothing to show for the love that you have for yourself. You say you love yourself, but your actions actually show otherwise. I can't trust you if you say you love yourself, yet your actions are going against everything that you say, that love that you have for yourself. Because it does show up in the way that we nurture ourselves. We care and show up in ourselves.
And just to touch on what she was just speaking on, is that we also have to remember that there are levels to everything. And for me, like she was just saying, self-care and self-love, they are intertwined and inseparable. And so a lot of people, they would say that they love themselves, and, they're not able to experience it at the highest level. Meaning that they love themselves based on their current conscious awareness and ability to be able to take action on that love.
Yes.
And this is why the consciousness that you absorb and the things that you listen to, this is why your affirmations and your notes to self, your mantras to self are so important, because that's what helps you obtain more information and a higher consciousness that allows you to give more love to yourself. And so it's just like when we talk about food, environment, the things you watch, there is one love for yourself where it's like, oh, okay, I want to go enjoy myself, I want to take myself out. And so you go to, McDonald's, you love yourself, so you want to feed yourself and you like this food. Then there's a higher conscious love that's like, okay, I like McDonald's, but this hurts me, it hurts my mental, it doesn't make me feel good, and it doesn't make the body feel good. And so now, with the conscious awareness of knowing that there's a better option and you choose that option, now you are actively upgrading the love that you have for yourself. And so that's one way in the form of food and in the form of music. If you're listening to something and you like the beat, but the message being delivered doesn't resonate with the reality that you want to create, because a lot of times we'll hear something in the background that has a really nice beat, but they start saying like, fuck this bitch, fuck your mama, did I kill everybody? Most of us really don't agree with that. You see, and we're here playing, and you'll start bopping your head to it, so you're naturally, you're in rhythm to it. So another form of self-love when it comes down to things that you hear and you take in is that you upgrade the quality of music that you listen to. So meaning that you keep the same beat, or you find something that resonates with your soul as far as the beat wise, but the lyrics also start to resonate because you don't want to take in that negative information or something you don't agree with and reaffirm it in your mind and have it repeated. And so in the form of friends, if you know that you love yourself and you love this friend, but they don't have your best interest or their own best interest at heart, and there's a certain type of love where it's like, you know what, I'm gonna love them no matter what, no matter what they do to me, I'm gonna show them pure love. And that's one version. And then there's an upgraded love. It's like, you know what, the highest love I can show them is to show them that if you're gonna be my friend, then you have to respect me as a person. You got to respect the things that you do that are not that don't complement our friendship. You see, and if you can't do that, then out of love, I want to let you grow on your own path. And when we're ready, if we come across again, then we'll take it from there whenever that alignment happens. And so it's just different. It's different levels of how we love and how to upgrade that love so that we can experience more of that bliss, more of the clarity. You see, if you say you love yourself, but if you're having a lot of mental fog, you're emotionally imbalanced, you're physically weak, and you have a lot of physical illnesses, and you're not trying to do anything better, then that's one version of your love. But you have to have that willpower to upgrade that love so that you can experience a clear mind, you can experience balanced emotions, and you can experience a strong body, and then that love from that frequency will begin to express at that new level of expression.
The way that I'm gonna say in my own words what you said to
Go ahead.
basically to express on the same idea in different wording, because people learn in different ways. But I think that people can only love us to the level in which they've met themselves. People can only see us as deeply as they've seen themselves and met themselves within. So when it comes to feeding our mind, body, and spirit, what we feed our mind, body, and spirit matters. It's not just about what you eat. It's about what you listen to. It's about what you watch. It's about what you hear, the information you're taking in. You're still eating. Regardless if you're not physically eating,
it's all
when
food.
You're watching media, when you're listening to music, in the music there are frequencies subconsciously that they've put in that music, that rap, that you're not picking up on because you're not conscious. You're just listening to it. You might be doing something else. You're not even conscious of the words that are being said, of the little frequencies that they're putting in there that are subconsciously affecting your thoughts, ideas, and your feelings. They affect your personality, your thoughts, feelings, and emotions. So all of those things are actually creating your personality, your identity. So it's like the things that we watch, the things that we take in, we have to be so mindful of. And there is a level of it with friends too, that when it comes to friends, you get influenced. You do become who you surround yourself with, regardless if you want to or not. They say the people around you will inevitably make up who you are. Your top 5 friends make or break you. I know people have heard this, but there's truth in it, because it's like when you surround yourself with people who are not choosing to do the love, to do the self-work, to do the betterment, you're going to want to make yourself small to go down to their level because you love your love for them. Exactly. But they're going to keep you at that level, not allowing you to become everything that you are, because you're continuing to make yourself small to make them feel okay, rather than gifting them the choice. You can meet me where I'm at if you choose to do these things for yourself, but I'm going to keep doing these things. I'm going to keep going to the gym. I'm going to keep doing my meditations. I'm going to and if you want to come with me, beautiful, but I can't force you.
They have to match the frequency.
They have to do it, yes.
And just to reiterate, and so, for this podcast, for this live, I want to go ahead and say this for, anything in future we talk about, is that when we say food, we're talking about everything that you consume as far as energy. Food is energy. So the energy that you see, your environment, is the food that you see. You're taking in, you're consuming food in your environment. So, us being out here in nature versus, being in a building all day long, not getting in nature, not getting outside, not getting no sunlight, you're eating that vibration. And so you have to make time. If you're in society, it's not to run from society, but if you're in it, you got to make time to get in nature and find that balance and find that peace and find that natural setting so your brain can recalibrate to its most natural state. Yes. Also, as she was saying, like the things that you hear, the things you listen to, you got to realize it's not just, the music, but also, the car sounds, the the constant clanks, the telephone going off, all of these unnatural sounds. Again, this is where environment comes in with the sounds, is that, take a break away from those unnatural sounds and get into where you can hear birds, the ocean, you can hear the wind, or up in the mountain, so you can be nourished by life. And then, of course, we all know about the things that we eat, and we're getting better, but the more consciousness and the higher conscious awareness that you have of what's in the food, what type of food you should be eating, and your own physical body, and what your body can actually assimilate without a problem, you see, then you actually once you start to embody all these things, then you're able to start to be more complete and experience more wholeness and experience oneness. And so, we all have this God potential. We all have source flowing through every part of our being. And that is just potential, and that's what God is. God is the infinite potential of creation to express itself. And so realize that as this God potential and of energy, and even in one of the biblical scriptures, it says, I create chaos and I make order. This is the God energy within you. You are able to create that chaos or order within you, and that is the God energy or the God potential that you express. So to express as God in its highest potential, in its highest love, and its highest bliss, in a healthy state, in a state of growth, and in a state of balance, in a state of clarity, then you have to make sure that the body is pure. Because within you, before there's anything external, we talked about this internal, external alchemy. Before there is anything external, without no external, it's only you and source within. So there's no corruption. And this is why the external, what you see, what you hear, what you eat, what you smell, the things you drink, the people you hang around, all this is extremely important, because this is the only source that can invite the imbalance. Because you're already perfectly balanced within, just you and source. It's just you and source in there. So without no external corruption, everything is balanced. Everything is working perfectly. The expression, the emotions are balanced, the mind is clear, the body's strong, you're in an eternal blissful state. But when you open your eyes and you come into this reality, now you start to be able to invite on things that either complement that bliss, that complement God's perfection, or that disturb it, that bring static. You see, or that destroy it.
I want to even give an idea. That's like media. Have you ever been feeling so good and then you sit on media and you scroll and all of a sudden you feel so imbalanced? And this is talking about denying the flesh to fill the spirit. We have to deny our flesh time and time again from its desires. If I have the Spirit of Christ within, I have to deny my flesh and merge my will with God, meaning my wants will change when I'm in balance. When I'm fully in harmony with God, my desires shift. I don't want the fast food. I don't want to go out to eat. I want the raw food. I want the veggies. I want the fruit. That's because God's desires are now my desires, because the flesh and the spirit merge as one. And so many people who want to eat fast food and that's because you are imbalanced. And there are actually parasites in you that are craving those things. It's not you. It's the parasites are they are a part of you, but it's the corruption. You invite it in, and you invite it in. So it's like that; those parasites in you want that stuff, and you keep feeding them. But if you deny them the food, eventually they have to die. They have to starve out. So we starve out. We deny the flesh to feed the spirit, but we have to starve out the flesh sometimes. It's starving out the parasites when we eat the foods. It's starving out the media when we feel tempted to go and scroll or whatever. We're denying time and time again so that we can fill up our spirit and feel the connection to God, to receive the downloads, the light codes, which is like what you were talking about, going out in nature. When we go out in nature, we don't go out in nature just because to ground and get sunlight. That's my food. And many people actually just got asked this question. They said, why can't you live the lifestyle you live out here in America? The environment in America is toxic. The water in the public water, I do too. Like the public water, I burn because I'm so sensitive and at a high frequency. It burns my skin. I can't sit in that water. It's burning me because there's chloride in it. There's fluoride. There's iron. Like acid is acid, and then the food, not to mention, and then the air that you breathe in. It's like the environment is toxic. Now, it's not to say here it's not toxic, because there are certain things still happening, but you're so much more connected. My breath is so much clearer. Also, we're sitting in the sun right now. Our feet are on the earth right now. We're grounded.
And we're getting, and to touch on what she was saying, I'm gonna go in reverse. Is that one thing about being here is that you can't, a lot of people will say this, is be like, okay, well, I can do the same thing you're doing out in nature back at home. No, you can't. You can only pick coconut trees from a coconut tree where it grows at. You see, the thing is that if all of your natural resources come from this environment, that is showing you that you cannot sustain and support your life, you know, without resources coming from the environment that I live in. Next, you're only going to get ocean therapy at the ocean. You're only going to get beach therapy at the beach. You're only going to be able to pick your own tropical fruits and your own tropical herbs. The most biodiversity, meaning that the variety of species and organisms and life form, those life forms being that God expressing through those life forms, have always been the tropics. And you know, of course, when we have a domesticated society that we're raised in, you're more so used to that. And your vessel, remember that this is why they call the body as a vessel, because it can be programmed. You have been programmed into a domesticated society, and because you have not experienced nature long enough, you think you can get the same thing there. And there is nature there, but the quality of nature, the amount of nature, and the arrangement of it has been domesticated. It's just like the animals in the zoo, thinking that they can get the same thing at the zoo that they can at the jungle. Now they can bring them stuff from the jungle, but they can only get the jungle at the jungle.
It's so true.
And the freedom and the spirit is so. Now in that analogy, you know, there's a spirit of a zoo. You see, you got the zookeepers, you got the cage, you know, you got the type of food that they bring in that's not, you know, charged by the sun, not charged by the earth. So, you know, that's one environment, and that's all they know, you see. But when you have access, and you willingly have access to be in a different environment, so it's not unlike those animals that have been caged and they can't get out. You're in a zoo and you're choosing to be there. You see, once you know, if you don't know before this moment, then, you know, now you can start to consciously apply the wisdom, you see. And, you know, it's not nothing to rush and do, but just be aware and start striving towards taking steps so that you can be even better.
With that being said, in that same breath, that's not to say go move across the country and go into, because you can alchemize your reality and make choices where you're at, wherever you're at in the world listening. It's like, I don't say this to say move across the country and go to the jungle, but when you become self-aware and self-conscious, you will make decisions that are going to help you to connect to nature even where you're at. You can connect, you can talk to trees wherever you're at. There's trees everywhere. You can connect with the trees. You can still ground where you're at. You can still spend more time in nature. It doesn't mean you have to go move anywhere to get to be connected to nature, to earth.
Not to be connected to nature, but I will say, and like you were just saying, is that, you know, you don't rush and move. You don't rush and get out of it. The thing is that you slowly start making the changes that you can. You do the best where you at, and that best where you at will lead you out of it. Because
it's just like saying the spirit in the flesh. Your desires will change. You might not want to live in the city anymore. Yeah, you're gonna be. We're gonna talk about this in a minute too. You're gonna be magnetically pulled out of that situation because you no longer match the frequency of the states. Because what happens is like she was saying, is that there's nature there, but the water's polluted, the air is polluted, the food is polluted. It's a toxic environment. The music is polluted. The sounds that you hear on an average everyday basis are polluted. The timing is off with the sun. You know, you got daylight saving out here. There is no daylight saving time. It's always the same time. There is no up an hour, down an hour. And so, you know, you're way more in alignment and when you're in the tropics. And as you find this out and you start taking those steps towards healing yourself and cleansing yourself, and as you raise your frequency, that God frequency starts to move through you, you're going to be attracted to a better environment. It's not going to be something you have to force yourself and do. Now, if you are extremely ill, now then you can start taking steps like, okay, maybe you need to go ahead and move because you can't heal in the same environment. But if that broke you can't heal in the same environment that broke you.
But if you're able to stand on your own 2 feet, you don't have any severe illnesses that need to be taken, that need to be handled right away, then take your time. But if you're extremely ill, I do suggest you, as quick as you can, as fast as you possibly can, it varies from person to purpose, to get in an environment that can start nourishing you on all levels.
With that also, because I hear it, and it's like, when you get out in nature, immediately you start healing just by me looking around and seeing all this green. But with that being said, some people still won't be healed because it's not about the environment, but it's within them that's creating that illness.
True.
So that comes back to the idea of like, you can do everything to take care of yourself. You can be out in nature grounding every day. You can be in the sun, eating all the right things, doing meditation, going to Kundalini. You can do all these things, yet still be in balance in your emotional being, in your emotional body, which will create illness. Because many people, even in America and just all over, they're doing all of the things yet still not being healed. They're like, it's not working, all this stuff. I still feel they still don't love themselves. They still have an emotional imbalance where they're addicted to fear, shame, guilt, where they're addicted to all these emotions because they're not moving the energy within them, that the energy emotion, which is our emotions. So they're blocking it, which is creating illness because it's stored in our cells. So it's like, it's actually emotions that are creating an energy that's creating their illness that they have. Not to say I'm a doctor and I know, but I know a lot of it is created within our mind too, our mental, and that has to be healed. Even if you come out in nature, you still have yourself in nature. You still have to sit with yourself wherever you are in the world. So you could come out to an environment, yes, and naturally you're gonna be in the sun, by the ocean. I mean, you're gonna feel better just in that self, but if you don't feel good within yourself, no matter if your environment is healing, you still are gonna feel unsettled within yourself if you don't do the work to match your emotional body with the physical body. You can work out, you can do all the things, but you also have to work the emotional body to balance it out also within you so that you can be balanced within yourself.
Yes, and you know, it's so important to connect all of these bodies because you know because as I'm listening, it's like what people do get confused is that they're doing the mantras, they're doing the meditation, like I said, they're doing the workout, and they're trying all these things. And it's like, well, what's the solution? Like, even when it comes down to emotions, it's like, well, I keep telling myself that I love myself. And this is why, you know, I say when it comes down to emotions, you have to do all of it. That's the only way to purify the emotions. Meaning that you can't just do the meditation, you just can't do the workout, you can't just do the eating, but you have to nourish yourself correctly. You have to drink the right liquids, you have to get out in nature, you have to ground, you have to meditate, you have to give yourself positive affirmation, you got to reaffirm yourself, you got to take yourself around people who are emotionally balanced. You got to do all of it because when it comes down to emotions, that means that there's energy stuck. And that means that if you don't know where the energy is stuck is in your body or where the emotional trauma is, you have to move it through all areas of your life. That means family, friends, food, liquids, music, environment. And that way, wherever that emotional trauma and energy is coming from, it can be purified. And so when we're talking about the emotional body, we're talking about the energy of all bodies in motion. Because all bodies are made of energy. And so when we say emotion, we're talking about the energy of all of your bodies, your spiritual, your mental, all of your different, your physical, all your different etherical bodies. That energy in motion and how it moves throughout the world and how it communicates with life. You see? So you have to work on all in order to purify the emotions. And that's why emotions are some of the hardest things. And so you'll have this person that's like they're eating right, but their emotions still stuck. But are they doing the meditation? Are they doing the affirmations? Are they in nature? You see, you have the person that's in nature, but then they're eating what they want. And they're listening to what they want. And they're hanging with who they want to. They're not, you see. And so it's like you only have the imbalance of emotion when you're only doing one part of it and not the other. The emotions will automatically balance once you incorporate all of it. You see.
And that's a lifestyle that you're talking about.
Yeah,
it's really a lifestyle
choice.
Because it's not. Choices inevitably create patterns. And we are creatures of patterns. Like everything is